Okay, so good afternoon, dear students. So we'll be starting with the discussion of this biology paper of embryology of the morphology of angiosperms or flowering plants. So some of these questions you need not have to get scared because even though they might look very difficult, they're not difficult. But exposure to this question paper would help you to answer those difficult questions that might come outside of the syllabus. Okay, so that is the purpose of doing this particular topic. So keeping that in mind, let us proceed to it. So majority of the questions, nearly 90%, 95% of questions are from NCRT syllabus. A few will be outside that NCRT syllabus. And even if any one of this question does appear in your examination, you'll be having a cutting edge over others. So that is how you can be much more benefited by this paper. So let us begin with this. So embryophyta includes angiosperms, algae and fungi, bryophyte and pteridophyta, all plants except thallophyta. See, embryophyta includes, that means plants which have the embryo after the formation of zygote, they develop into embryo. So all those plants are included under embryophyta. So all plants except thallophyta. So embryophyta includes all the plants except thallophyta. Okay, so they all have this zygote develops to form the embryo. So that is what you have to remember about. So the chief merit of Bentham and Hooker's classification is, see, Bentham and Hooker's classification is the natural system of classification. So Linnaeus had given it as artificial system of classification, isn't it? So Bentham and Hooker's classification is natural system of classification. So the chief merit of Bentham and Hooker's classification is it is a system mostly based on evolutionary concept. Second one, it is a natural system of classification of all group of plants. So the description of the taxa are based on actual observation of the specimen. It also considers the phylogenetic aspects. Okay, so it is a natural systematic system of classification of all group of plants. So B is the answer. Okay, so just remember about B part of it. 1 minute. Third one, 93rd, the classification of Linnaeus was mainly based on sepals, stem, petals, stamens. So what was the classification of Linnaeus was mainly based on? It was based on stamens, the type of stamens. Okay, so 93rd, D is the answer. Dinaturalisans Flansane family, the natural flowering plants, that is what the title is, was written by Heikler, Linnaeus, Engler and Prandtl, Bentham and Hooker. See, this Dinaturalisans Flansane family was written by Hengler and Prandtl. So they were the German taxonomists. Their system of classification is more of phylogenetic system of classification. So they had the phylogenetic system of classification. So Carolus Linnaeus classified plant kingdom on the basis of floral morphology, overall morphology of plants, type of sexual reproduction, anatomical character. So what did Carolus Linnaeus classified plants kingdom on the basis of? So it was mostly on floral morphology, especially the androecium, the morphology of androecium or stamens. Okay, so Carolus Linnaeus. So A is the answer, floral morphology. Okay. Oswald Tipo, they are also taxonomists. So this might not be their information in your NCRT books, but if you read into the synopsis of some of the books like the Ariane publication and others, they might have given this. So Oswald Tipo included how many divisions in subkingdom Thallophyta? So there are 10 divisions that he has included in the subkingdom Thallophyta. which is a primitive type of classification. Okay. 97, Siphonogamma includes. What does Siphonogamma include? Bryophyta and Thallophyta, Pteridophyta and Bryophyta. See, Siphonogamma means the pollen grain germinates and they produce the pollen tube. So that is what it includes. So there are only two examples which have that pollen grain germinating to produce pollen tube, that is gymnosperm and angiosperms. So Siphonogamma includes gymnosperm and angiosperm. Siphon means tube-like structure. Siphonogamma, they produce pollen tube because they have pollen grain which undergoes germination. When pollen grain undergoes germination, they produce pollen tube. So 97th, C is the answer, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Systemae Naturae book was written by, so who has written it? Engler and Prantl, Darwin, Linnaeus, Oswald and Tipo. So Systemae Naturae, so who has written that book? So it is Linnaeus, isn't it? Systemae Naturae. So Linnaeus is the answer. So Systemae Naturae was written by Carolus Linnaeus. C. Okay. According to Whittaker, kingdom Monera includes. So five kingdom classification was put forth by Robert Whittaker, isn't it? So kingdom Monera includes unicellular, eukaryotes. Does it include prokaryotes, slime molds and protozoa, multicellular and eukaryotes? So kingdom Monera includes only prokaryotes. So 99 B is the answer, prokaryotes. Linnaeus proposed an outline of plant classification in genera Plantarum, species Plantarum, Systemae Naturae, Philosophica Botanica. So Linnaeus proposed an outline classification in, so which of them? Genera Plantera, species Plantarum, Systemae Naturae. Okay. So what is the answer for it? So the answer is genera. So let me just cross check that. Okay. See, I was discussing about this. It is Systemae Naturae, in which the outline of plant classification is given. So, classification proposed by Bentham and Hooker is mainly based on what attributes. So, what is the characters on the basis of which it is mainly based on? So, the characters are mainly based on embryological characters, is it floral characters, vegetative characters, phylogenetic characters. So the classification proposed by Bentham and Hooker is mainly based on the floral characters, okay, so which are much more stable and steady. So phylogenetic, it comes under phylogeny. So phylogenetic characters, Engler and Prandtl system of classification, there would be phylogeny. Okay. So floral characters is there. So nothing to worry about, even if you are wrong. This is a process of learning, isn't it? So nothing to feel bad about. Okay. So we had this 101. The answer is B, floral characters. So which of the two groups include the similar plants? Okay. So Siphonogamma and Spermatophyta, Siphonogamma and Zoodeogamma, then Metaclamidae and Monoclamidae, Polypetalae and Gammopetalae. Which of the two groups include the similar plants? See, Siphonogamma is also gymnosperms and angiosperms. Spermatophyta, the seed-producing plants, are also gymnosperms and angiosperms. So this answer is the appropriate. Siphonogamma implies pollen grain producing the pollen tube. So you can see only in case of gymnosperms and angiosperms. Spermatophyta is seed producing plants, which you can notice only in the seed producing plants. You can notice that. So Siphonogamma and Spermatophyta are the right answer. Okay, because both of them have the example of gymnosperms and angiosperms. So fertilization by zoodeogamy occurs in cryptogams, phanerogams, only bryophyta, only pteridophyta. So where does this fertilization by zoodeogamy occurs? So it occurs in cryptogams. Okay. So cryptogams are the terrestrial vascular plants. So that is, it includes the pteridophytes, cryptogams. So fertilization by zoodeogamy occurs in cryptogams, the first terrestrial vascular plants, that is the pteridophytes. So the cryptogams includes the pteridophyte. Okay, 1 minute, students. See, cryptogams is a plant that reproduced by spores without flowers or seeds. So that includes the bryophytes as well as pteridophytes. So bryophytes are non-vascular cryptogams and pteridophytes are vascular cryptograms. Okay. So the gymnosperms and angiosperms, we call them as phanerogams. So because they have the seed they produce, so that is the reason we call them as phanerogams, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So cryptogams, they are going to have they reproduce by spores and they don't produce flowers or seeds. So the vascular cryptogam is pteridophytes and non-vascular cryptogam is the Thallophyta. So remember about that example of it, vascular and non-vascular. So fertilization by zoodeogamy occurs in Cryptogams. So this is the answer. Cryptogams includes both bryophytes and pteridophytes. Phanerogams are nothing but the seeded plants like the gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay. The kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. It is very easy one. Protista is the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. Okay. So who among the following proposed a classification in which plants with one stamen were placed under the class Monandria, with two in Diandria, and with many stamens in Polyandria? So this is also very easy because Linnaeus was the person who discussed about that, isn't it? Monandria, Diandria. So that is monadelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous. This is what was the terms that Linnaeus used: monoandria, diandria, so polyandria. Okay. So monandria only based on only one stamen which have. Diandria, they have only two stamens, and many stamens they were placed under this group polyandria. So monoadelphous, diadelphous, polyadelphous is different. It is just based on the number of stamens. So this was put forth by Linnaeus. Okay, let us not uh, confuse it with monoadelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous. Instead, so monoandria has only one stamen in the flower. So many two stamens, if they are present, all those flowers are placed under diandria, all those plants. And plants with many stamens, they are placed under polyandria. So this system was put forth by Linnaeus. The organism participating most actively in nitrogen cycle in nature are, so it is bacteria. Bacteria because there are nitrifying bacteria, denitrifying bacteria. Legumes is partial. Bacteria plays a very active role in the nitrogen cycle, both in nitrification and denitrification. So 106 bacteria is the answer. Which enzyme specifically occurs in heterocyst of blue-green algae? So which enzyme is specifically occurring in the enzymes of blue-green algae? So is it cytochrome oxidase, nitrogenase, zymase, peptidyl transferase? So which enzyme is acting on it? Nitrogenase is the answer because heterosis they are going to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. Kaisal gur, a heat resistant material, is obtained from diatoms. Okay, Kaisal gur, a heat resistant material, is obtained from diatoms because they have siliceous cell wall. So just remember Kaisal gur is obtained from diatoms. So besides the flagellary movement, euglenoids can also perform special movement by membrane undulations called euglenoid movements. So euglenoids are included in, so are they included in Monera, Metazoa, Metaphyta, Protista? So euglenoids are included under Protista. So 109D is the answer. Parasexual cycle occurs in, so the parasexual or primitive type of sexual cycle, they occur in the deuteromycetes. Okay, so there is no formation of gametes. So you should remember about it. Deuteromycetes is also called as fungi imperfecti. So B is the correct answer. Parasexual cycle occurs in deuteromycetes. Phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, they are all type of classification of fungi. Professor K.C. Mehta is known for his contribution in bryology, plant physiology, plant pathology. See, Mehta is known for his contribution in plant pathology, that is study of diseases in plants. We call it as plant pathology. Okay, so that is what is the answer. So 111D is the answer. So 112, which of the following plant groups have similar pigment composition? Rhodophyta and Phaeophyta, Chlorophyta and Phaeophyta, Rhodophyta and Cyanophyta, Xanthophyta and Euglenophyta, Xanthophyta and Euglenophyta. So the answer is the C, Rhodophyta and Cyanophyta. So the following plant groups have similar pigment composition, that is Rhodophyta and Cyanophyta. Embryo is not formed in Talophyta due to. Why is the embryo not formed in Thallophyta? So it is due to zygotic meiosis, zygotic mitosis, sporangial meiosis, or is it gametic meiosis? Why is the embryo not formed in Thallophyta? So 113, the answer is A, zygotic meiosis. That is, the zygote immediately after formation, they undergo meiosis to form haploid spores. So the zygotic meiosis is the reason that embryo is not formed in Thallophyta. Okay. So in which of the following bryophytes there are gemme, the means of vegetative reproduction? In your textbook diagram, you might have seen the example of Markensia. Okay, Markensia, female Markensia, male gametophyte Markensia, they have given. So the anthrophore and archegoniophore. So that you might have seen that male and female gametophyte. So they'll also be having gemma cup. So Markensia is the example. In the diagram, they have given that. So you should also be very careful in what the diagrams they have given. You should also see. Sometimes diagram oriented question can also be asked. Which bryophytes indicates algal ancestry of bryophytes? Algal ancestry of bryophytes, that is from algae, they have evolved to form bryophytes, that is indicated by Anthoceros. Anthoceros is under hornworts, a group called as hornworts. So Anthoceros is the answer. 115C is the answer. So their algal ancestor was similar to Anthoceros. Plants having vascular tissues but lacking seeds are, which are the plants having vascular tissues but lacking seeds are Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, Angiosperm. They have vascular tissues. Bryophytes don't have vascular tissues. It is ruled out. Gymnosperms and Angiosperms have seeds. That is also ruled out. Only plants having vascular tissue but not having seeds are pteridophytes is the answer. 116B is the answer. So the spore producing part of pteridophytes, which is the spore producing part of pteridophyte? Is it sporangio of gametophytes, capsule of sporophytes, or is it sporangio of sporophytes, or is it capsule of gametophytes? So spore producing part of pteridophytes is sporangio of sporophytes. 117. The answer is C. Okay. 118. Gymnosperms plant do not produce fruits because they do not have. So what do they not have? Ovary. It's very easy answer, isn't it? So they do not produce fruits because they do not have ovary. 118A is the answer. Heterosporous archegoniate is a name for, is it ferns? Heterosporous archegoniate, gymnosperms. They produce two types of spores, that is microspores and megaspores. And macrospores, you can also call it as megasporophyle, megaspore. And they also have archegonia. So heterosporous archegoniate is a name for gymnosperms. So 119B is the answer. Gymnosperms differ from pteridophytes in having presence of tracheids, presence of embryo, presence of ovule. They have ovule, pteridophytes don't have that, because of which seeds are produced in gymnosperms after fertilization. So 120th C is the answer. So 121st, root associated with nitrogen fixing bacteria are nodulated roots. Okay, so 121st C is the answer. Leaves are changed into spines in xerophytic structure called. So where is this? In cactus, you can notice that instead of leaves, they have spines. So that is nothing but phylloclade. So leaves are changed into spines in xerophytic structure called phylloclade. Stilt root. See, you find this in the sugarcane and maize. I had given you that they are balancing roots. They provide mechanical strength to the plant. So stilt roots occurs in sugarcane. Prop roots of banyan tree are meant for respiration, absorption of water from soil, providing support to big tree. So this is they are mechanical strength they provide. So providing support to big tree. So 124th C is the answer. Which of the following is of related type? Catkin and Hypanthodium, Raceme and Cyathium, Corymb and Umbel. So they are the inflorescence which are similar type. Okay, so Corymb inflorescence and Umbel, they are of similar type. So Corymb and Umbel are related type of inflorescence. So didynamis, today we discussed about didynamis condition is related to andrecium, inflorescence, gynoecium, all. So the answer is andrecium. Too tall, too short. We call them as didynamis condition. So today we had discussed about that in the class, isn't it? If the filaments are fused in a single group, the condition is, see, we had discussed about the monoadelphous stamens in hibiscus. They are all fused to form a single bundle. So the answer is A, monoadelphous. The tissue which attaches the ovule inside the ovary. The tissue which attaches the ovules inside the ovary is placenta. Okay. Pappus is modification of the hairy calyx. We call it as pappus. I told you they are responsible for parachute mechanism. So the answer is calyx. Pappus is modification of calyx. Basifixed anther is attached to filament at base firmly. Okay, basifixed anther is attached to the filament at base firmly. The axis between corolla and andrecium is, so what is the axis between corolla and andrecium? So probably the, so 131st, 1 minute, let me just confirm it. So D is the answer, that is androphore. So the axis between corolla and andrecium is androphore. The side of a flower facing the mother axis is called, what is the side of the flower facing the mother axis called as? Is it called as anterior side, posterior side, dorsal side, ventral side? So the side of a flower facing the mother axis is, so 132nd, B is the answer. That is posterior side is the answer. So this is the answer part of it. Siliqua is the fruit of cruciferae. Siliqua is the fruit of cruciferae. I think one of you should remind me tomorrow. I'll just tell you what is siliqua. Or when I'm discussing fruits, please make a note of this. Siliqua, I'll just explain what is this fruit. It is found in mustard. See, in mustard, the fruit dehisces from bottom to top, and they have a false septum called as replum on which the seeds are present. So this type of fruit in mustard, we call it as siliqua. Since mustard is having this cruciform corolla, they have placed it under a family called as cruciferae. Earlier, they used to call it as cruciferae. Presently, they call it as brassicaceae. Okay, earlier name for this was cruciferae. Presently, it is called as brassicaceae. Which of the following plants produce edible roots? Raphanus sativus is the answer because the scientific name of radish is Raphanus sativus. So Raphanus sativus produces the edible root. A berry fruit is fleshy and single seeded, fleshy and multi seeded. So this is more correct. Fleshy and multi seeded. Berry fruit is fleshy and multi seeded. So 135B is the answer. So the other things are all digestive system and other topics which we'll not be discussing. So that is about this paper. So you might have found here many of them are a little tough. They are away from what we have discussed, but you should be knowing about it because they can be asked as additional questions, difficult questions outside the syllabus. So you should be familiar with these questions. Anything you want me to explain again, dear students, you can let me know. So we have completed the discussion of it. Okay. So